My name is Louis Foff with PropertyManagementResearch.org, and we're here with Tim Forbes. He's the CEO of TDRE. He's got a very interesting benefits package that he's been so kind to tell us about, and we do think it's something that property managers need to know is available. It's been wildly successful in Australia with similar businesses, and we do believe the application is both prudent and profitable. So we're going to ask him some questions here at the interview and give him a chance to tell you all about it himself. Mr. Forbes, why would a property management owner want to have this benefit program?
One of the largest expenses that a property owner has deals with the eviction process. Legal fees, tenant eviction, non-payment of rent, then you have collections on top of that. Several issues that are related to that. This program helps to not necessarily pay for those expenses up front, but it helps to work with the tenant, allows the property manager to keep those good tenants and not lose income and kind of dispel those costs, if you will. When the program comes in, the benefit program pays 3 months of rent while the tenant is on family medical leave. When a tenant takes family medical leave, the employer is not required to pay them any kind of a salary or have anything other than a job waiting for them when they get done. So how does a tenant pay rent if there's an issue that comes up and they have to take that family medical leave? Well, they fall behind, they try to make payments, it doesn't work. So now you're looking at an issue where we have to evict them. Then we have costs on top of that. So this program, while they're on family medical leave, will pay 3 months of their rent. If they become unemployed and they're collecting unemployment, same issue. As long as they're collecting unemployment, this will pay up to 3 months of their rent while they're looking for another job. It doesn't take away the ability for a property manager to get rid of those pesky tenants, but it does allow them a better chance to hang on to those good tenants, which we all treasure.
Okay. All right. And the policy that backs this up, the benefits policy, can you speak to its strength a little bit? Because kind of one of the first questions that popped in my head as a prior property management owner was, if I do need to utilize the benefits and I clearly have a situation where it fits, how likely am I to get payment nice and clear from the company without any problems?
That's the idea of the ease of the operation, because the tenant gets a certificate of coverage that can either go in their file, be uploaded and scanned, but when the tenant needs to use it, the tenant actually contacts the benefit company. The benefit company sends the check directly to the property manager. So administratively, that's very minimal. Time-wise, extremely minimal. So that's the ease of the operation. They send the property manager the check directly, so the tenant never handles the money.
So a question for you. Does the tenant need to endorse that check? Or is it something that, all right, so it comes directly to the property owner and the property management company owner, and he can go ahead, or she, and then deposit the funds.
Yes.
And take your management fee out before the owner gets dispersed rent.
Just like normal coverage. It's the same as you would say a bank draft. So the tenant calls the bank or goes online, fills out the bank draft notice, the bank sends you the check, you get it, you do everything, and in the memo it shows where it's from. Same thing with the benefit program. It'll have in the memo down there what address and tenant it's for, so that you have a way to apply it correctly.
Yeah, it sounds absolutely like something that property owners would absolutely love having. It's kind of like this backup program.
Oh, exactly. And what we do is the fee that's charged is minimal enough that when you do your next lease renewal, you're able to up the rent just a little bit to cover that expense. So the current net that the owner has is not affected. What you're trying to do is protect that current net for longevity.
Yeah, so a follow-up, a natural follow-up to that would be, all right, if I'm a property management owner and I've got a rental property that rents for $1,000 a month, let's just call it that, what would this benefit program cost? Because that's kind of the big question here.
Around $15, $16 a month.
Okay, so 1.5 to 1.6% owners in your portfolio would have this amazing coverage. That could also, in my mind, have you heard this from your clients, that it actually helps retain property owners who are going through a bit of a rough spot with their tenant?
Well, exactly, because what do you go through? The issues are usually either maintenance related or they're a non-payment of rent issue. You know, currently we're working on being able to create another product that'll back this one up that's in the development stage and the testing stage that will cover quite a few more issues. And the cost of that's going to be somewhere around $10. And that's up and coming. And it covers such things as pet damage, things that are not covered over and above a security deposit, things that property managers usually turn into collections, which are a major other source of problem for property managers and time consuming. But with regard to this product that we have on the table right now, you know, you look at why a tenant can't pay their rent. Well, either a family issue happened or they lost their job. And this helps to get rid of that. Now, the tenants that just absolutely refuse, or they get unemployed because, you know, there were circumstances and they're not collecting unemployment, that's probably not a tenant you're going to want in your portfolio anyway, because odds are they're going to create more of a problem down the road for you, because it's just the nature of what happens in our business. I also manage property, so this was basically put together, designed by a property manager with all the things that we have to deal with to help the current business.
Well, how is your, are you managing property for others or out of your own portfolio?
I only have one in my portfolio, which is a family property
Okay.
since it was built. And otherwise, we manage for others. So you might say there's 1,499 we manage and one that is my own personal.
Okay. Well, specifically the 1499.
Sure.
How would you say it's been received on the aggregate? Like, how many of those property owners go, wow, this sounds like a great product, I want to have it?
100% on the tenants. I've never had a tenant say they don't want to utilize it or won't utilize it. They've been very receptive because it's included in their rent like an HOA.
They're paying for it.
They're glad they have it
Mm-hmm.
because it's a safety net for them. It gives them more of a sense of security. We've had a few owners that have opted and said not to do it. And then we have a little form that they understand they're opting out, and if we have to evict a tenant based on this and we turn it over to collections, that owner is responsible for following up with the collection company, not us.
Gotcha.
Because we could have saved that renter. We could have saved that rent.
So this sounds like to me that it would not only cut their vacancy collection loss, which seems completely evident, it would also give them a little less volatility in their cash flow.
Absolutely. How to protect the net.
Okay, excellent. And could you please speak a little bit to the process, i.e. timeframes? Let's say I've got one of my property management accounts that the tenant's all excited about this. They want to move forward with the product. How long does it take me after I contact you guys and I say, all right, TDRE, I've got a client, I want to sign them up. How long does that take? Is it a 30-day process? Is it a one-day process?
It depends on how they want to structure it. Anybody can come on board and sign up right away and start paying the premium, if you will. But one of the things that we recommend is a slow process. The slow process allows those owners time to have it covered. So if all of your leases expire within a certain period of time, then that's a little more, it'll come together a little bit quicker. If over the next year, which is standard, you have certain leases that expire throughout the year, then you want to have the rent increase go in when the tenant either renews or you get a new tenant in and cover that expense. So implementing the entire program for all of your owners or all of your tenants can be as quick as a day or it can take up to a year. Now, all of your owners don't have to opt in. So if you have 40 owners and 5 of them decide they're not going to want to participate in the program, that's fine. It's not an all opt-in or all opt-out issue.
Can I ask you a question? This just kind of popped up as you were explaining that. So have you thought about perhaps having the tenants, before their lease expires, being offered this program by the property management company, the benefit, and then essentially execute a new lease at a little bit of a higher rate immediately so that they can immediately gain the benefit and not wait till the lease rolls over?
You bet, that's their option. That's the property manager's option and what they want to do, but they never want to disrupt, of course, or hurt that tenant relationship. And if the tenant doesn't want to discuss those issues right away, that's fine. You know, we had a client that the wife knew that they were going to have to take some medical leave, family medical leave. They opted to sign one of those leases a little bit sooner and get the program rolling, so when the time came, they were able to benefit from that program and not have to worry about the roof over their head.
Is there any kind of vesting period where the tenant needs to be enrolled for at least 90 days before we'll consider?
That's exactly it.
It's 90 days, okay.
90 days.
All right, great. So I get those people.
So the brand new tenant moves in, and there's a 90-day grace period when they move in. Now, if it's a tenant renewal, they've already lived there for 90 days, that's not an issue. Renewals are not an issue.
So what's to stop a tenant who knows they're going to be laid off from purchasing the benefit?
Well, you're looking at 90 days.
Okay, so if they have a 90-day heads up that something might happen, then it is what it is, so to speak.
It is what it is.
Okay.
And that's the risk that that benefit company takes on.
Yeah.
And that's why they put the 90 days in there, because you don't want a tenant that's going to be laid off in 30 days, and you're
Gotcha,
advertising this as a benefit to your tenants to go in, rent the properties, and then they're laid off, and they can stay in the property for 4 months, and that's not good for anybody.
Okay. And sort of a final question for you. What would you say the top like 3 or 4 benefit claims that you guys handle are, with the rent, if there's damage, et cetera? What would be the calls you get the most, that your property management clients and the owners that they take care of, where do you see the most benefit in which of the line items that you guys cover?
Definitely loss of rent due to an eviction.
Okay.
Because usually it takes a process or a time to get them evicted. So the owner is more than likely going to lose at least, at the minimum, a month's worth of rent, plus legal fees. Or it can go up to, like in some states like California, if they dispute, it may go up to 90 days before you can get a tenant out. So the owner's out a lot of money. And if you can avoid that, life's good.
Have you noticed another question pops into mind, because it just seems great. Have you noticed that property management owners are more willing to collect a little lesser of a security deposit if the tenant agrees to the benefit program, thus maybe giving that management company a competitive advantage in an active rental market where their tenants can benefit from lower average security deposits?
The program we're currently working on makes that a dream. The program we're working on right now covers like an extra security deposit, if you will, for things like pet damage and other issues that we deal with, such as, bad carpet, holes in the walls, things that happen with bad tenants. And that is going to allow the property manager to actively look for somebody that has a certain criteria of qualification that puts them into an A credit rating, or like a 650 FICO score or better for a renter, and then reduce that rent or reduce that security deposit, making it easier for them to move in, less expensive, all the way down the line. So that's something that we were hoping to have by this conference, so I'm going to bet that it's going to be done at least by the first of the year.
All right, I definitely know my property management owners are going to be excited to hear about that.
Yes, and the cost right now that we're looking at, like I said, is going to come in somewhere around $10, we think.
That's amazing. Simply breakthrough technology. A breakthrough product here that I can't imagine wouldn't be well received by my readers. So this is, again, Mr. Forbis, and I certainly appreciate your time, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.